Sponsored by Tecate Cerveza con Carácter and the Vegas Hard Rock. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission Chairman Bill Brady, Executive Director Keith Kaiser, Commissioner Skip Avancino Jr., John Bailey, T.J. Day, and Pat Lundville. Ringside physicians are doctors James Game, William Berliner, Stephen Leibowitz, and Vicky Mazarana. Timekeepers at the bell and counting for the knockdown seconds, Jim Cavan and Steve Esposito. And representing the WBA, its supervisor, Michael Welch. For this bout, the title can only be won by the red corner, as his opponent in the blue corner did not make the official weight. The three judges at ringside scoring this bout, Max DeLuca, Dwayne Ford, and Jerry Roth. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action at the bell, Vic Draculich. And now for the thousands in attendance here at the Vegas Hard Rock and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue, official weight 119 1/2 pounds. His professional record, 13 victories, including 8 knockouts with 3 defeats and 1 bout even. From Panama City, Panama, here is Rafael El Torito Concepcion. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing yellow, official weight 115 pounds. His professional record, 21 victories, including 14 KOs, only 1 defeat. From General Santos City, Philippines, the former flyweight champion of the world, Nonito, the Filipino Flash Donaire.
All right, gentlemen, this is for the WBA Interim Super Flyweight title. You've received your instructions in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution Nonito, any punch below this point are going to be called low. Rafael, golpes de bajo, de este punto, ser llamado bajo. With that said, I want you to obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Obedezca mis comandos y protegerse a su mismo siempre. Touch them up now, good luck to both of you. Tóquenlos. Buena suerte a ambos.
So we're set to go in our main event this evening. Nonito Donaire jumping up to the super flyweight division to try and win this WBA interim title, taking on former WBA interim titleist Rafael Concepcion, who lost that title in 2008 in a wild slugfest against Jorge Arce. And we are off and running in round number 1. And one of the big debates about Nonito Donaire is always how will he have his hair coiffed for a fight? He's gone kind of retro for this one, hasn't he?
He's gone a little retro slash thuggish, but it answered already with a nice slick left hook. You know, I think much is to be made of the weight that Concepcion failed to make. It wasn't just 1 pound, it was 4 or 5 pounds, which in these weight classes, which are separated by only 4 or 5 pounds, it seems like, it's a big, big difference. But Nonito Donaire is something special, and he wants to follow in his countryman's footsteps, Manny Pacquiao, and climb the weight classes and be impressive in doing so.
You know, we're sitting here at ringside, and this is a comment that I think the folks at home can see it on TV as well. Nice right hand by Concepcion. Donaire weighs less than Concepcion. He looks monstrously bigger than him in the ring. He always looks bigger than the fighters he's facing, certainly at flyweight and even at superfly. He looks like he's a weight division above.
Yeah, he's a tall flyweight, but he's slight.
He has a body.
Is a thick little guy.
He has a body that could end his career probably at 130, 135.
Yeah, and there's the counter left hook by Donaire a moment ago. Donaire thinks he can go all the way up to 135 pounds. He may well be able to do that. And already he's landing his signature punch, which is the counter left hook. He has as powerful a left hook as you're going to see in these lower weight classes. Just ask Vic Darchinian about that.
One of my favorite moments of last year in boxing when he got to bully the bully. And knocked him out with that famous left hook of his, and that was sweet to see.
Well, it was certainly an intriguing fight, and Donaire fought very well throughout those initial rounds and then landed that monstrous left hook.
Beautiful body shot, which hurt Concepcion.
Yes.
You saw him wince. You saw him wince, and he put his elbow right to that body shot, and he followed up with a big right hand.
Felt that, most definitely.
We saw when you fought Brian in the Philippines and won the title against Ulysses Solis, Donaire fought Raul Martinez, and he was Donaire the power puncher that night. That's who he is tonight.
What a nice hook to the body. Didn't even set it up with a jab. He's so accurate. Yeah, he's special. I'm excited to be here and get to witness him.
In the fight against Raul Martinez, he was able to land a leading uppercut, left uppercut that floored Martinez down in that fight, which is really a really hard punch to throw because it leaves you susceptible to a hook or a right.
It's a very dangerous hard punch to wow. If you can get away with that, it's a lot of.
So a very difficult first round for Rafael Concepcion, to say the least, against Nonito Donaire. As we follow Donaire back into his corner, June Ledesma will translate for us.
Guapo kayo, ha? Guapo kayo. Guapo kayo.
It's good, it's good.
Guapo kayo.
It's good.
The combination is good. The combination is good. Jab, jab. Jab first.
Okay? Okay?
Saying that he got hurt with a go straight right. Come up with a left uppercut. Concepcion's corner is asking.
We head into round number 2. You heard Jonathan Penalosa remind Donaire to jab. That's their mission in the corner, because he can land all those big power punches without throwing jabs. In round 1, all 11 of the 22 punches Donaire landed were power shots. He never landed one jab because he can make it happen without the jab, but the Penalosas believe in that jab, and they think that's ultimately what will make him a superstar in boxing and make him, they think, virtually unbeatable.
Penalosa's building quite a name for themselves as trainers as well.
Yeah, of course, Jerry Penalosa, the former champion. Dodi, the brother, also a former champion. And yes, they're a great crew.
Rafael's face is swollen up a little bit under his left eye, perhaps from the right hand or uppercuts that's been landing from Nonito.
Part of the reason Donaire hasn't thrown too many jabs is when Concepcion kind of rushes in, Donaire is able to land that counter left hook.
He's got such good feet moves, good foot movement. Wow, look at the power on that left hook. He's got such great awareness, and his footwork is just excellent in his distance. Really a special fighter.
For Concepcion, he is trying to make something happen offensively without getting hit with one of those big shots. And this 27-year-old felt that his power would make a difference with Donaire against him. So far, he's not had a chance to really land something meaningful.
Beautiful right hand with the right hand.
Donaire attacking very patiently, but with power. And there is that swelling underneath the left eye of Concepcion. Concepcion not really cutting the ring off, just kind of following Donaire around.
Trying to land those body shots for a much taller.
Big right hand. Wow, though, a big right hand landed by Concepcion, 2 of them. But Donaire doesn't buckle and comes back with his own big punch, so Concepcion's corner right in telling him to land the right hand.
Well, that's what you have to do against a left-hander. It was sort of bizarre to see him land 2 straight clean ones.
He landed 2 good ones against the ropes against Donaire, and Nonito able to take those. Some redness now around that left eye of Rafael Concepcion. A big hook by Concepcion! Wow!
That hurt him.
That's
backtracking, and that hurt him.
That stunned Donaire momentarily.
Nonito Donaire became the puncher and paid the price for it. They traded left hooks hooks, and Concepcion's was harder.
And there's a cut underneath the left eye of Concepcion. And those extra pounds showing a little bit as far as the strength.
4 pounds might not seem much to a lot of people, but
in these lower weight
classes, it means much of a big difference.
And that right cheekbone is swelling for Nonito Donaire, so things have shifted dramatically here in the second round.
There's
wow.
blood flowing out of Rafael Concepcion's left eye.
Rafa. Tiene que estar más cerca del hombre.
You need to get a lot closer to land those big shots. You need to get a lot closer. Attack him more.
Here we're taking a look back at Rafael Concepcion landing a big right hand. Coming back, and a lot of great combinations, Rafael, stunning Nonito Donaire for a little bit.
Big right hand by Concepcion, 2 big right hands and a big left hook. The weight really telling the difference, looking, and then with a nice flurry from Nonito Donaire, followed by a solid left hook by Concepcion.
Well, round 2 changed the complexion of this fight, that's for sure.
We got to fight now, Al.
Yeah, we sure do. Let's see if Donaire will accept the advice of the Penalosas and jab and maybe be a little more of a boxer puncher instead of just a puncher. Donaire out through 2 rounds has outlanded Concepcion 27 punches to 10, but in the last round, the punches that mattered toward the end came from Concepcion.
You know, he had such success in that first round. He hurt him with such a great body shot, and I haven't seen him go back to the body since, though.
Some work to the gloves by Victor Ackledge. Well, we saw in the piece before the fight, and there's another hook landed by Concepcion that he thought he could hurt Nonito Donaire. And he certainly got his attention. There's a swelling on the right cheekbone of Donaire from that last left hook that landed. Now Donaire using all of this ring, using the jab to kind of poke out there.
Being very smart, going back to some boxing, counter-punching opportunities, or trying to create them.
Using his reach a little bit more in this round.
Boxing has been this way in the last couple of years. Surprise after surprise. And while Donaire completely dominated round 1, Concepcion came back with some dramatic punches and has changed the tone of this fight a bit. Good uppercut by Donaire.
The uppercuts, the left hooks, and the body shots are very impressive by Donaire.
Donaire using all of this ring now, trying to, still not landing the jab very effectively, but using it as at least a rangefinder. Concepcion not cutting the ring off, and that is to his detriment. And a lot of redness and maybe even some blood around the left eye of Rafael Concepcion.
It will be interesting to see if that cut over his left eye will bother him in the later rounds.
Rafael trains at Gleason's Gym, the venerable gym in Brooklyn, New York. So many champions have trained at. Won his last 2 fights.
Little slip there by Rafael.
Inviting target, that bloody eye.
It is.
Donaire has not landed too much in this round. Content to kind of be defensive. Has landed a couple of good shots. About a half minute left to go here in round number 3.
Well, he's going to be reluctant to stand toe-to-toe with him, even in some inside fighting, because he felt those punches. He felt those hooks, and he felt those straight right hands.
And the blood on the left eye of Concepcion, which there was no ruling it came from a clash of heads, came from punches, will change the complexion of this fight, because that gives Donaire a way to win this fight if he can just peck away at that cut. And June Ledesma will do the translating in the corner of Nonito Donaire as the Penalosas go to work.
Guapo kayo, guapo kayo.
Play with him. It's good, it's good. Breathe, breathe.
Guapo kayo, inato ha. Sikti usa, gupunsa nato siya, gupunsa nato siya.
Just destroy him, destroy him, destroy him. He's already been destroyed. Hit him in the face.
Nonito here pecking around, timing that nice uppercut, left uppercut that kind of floored his other opponent last April.
So Nonito Donaire and Rafael Concepcion, with the plot thickening, head into round number 4. Donaire, the 26-year-old, stepping up to the super flyweight division and really beyond, because the man he's facing is at 119 pounds, yet another weight division above. That is Concepcion, who weighed in 4.5 pounds over the 115-pound limit. As you look at the power punches through round 3, most landed by Donaire, but a couple of them made a big impact by Concepcion.
And who knows how much weight he put on after the weigh-in.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. So in terms of strength, Concepcion has something going for him here. If he can land more of those big power shots, and a right hand almost lands from Concepcion.
Donaire still trying to fight from the outside, keeping Rafael at bay with that long reach. And
Donaire is 4-0 in title matches, has never lost one. And he has talked a lot about moving up to 118 for his next fight. We'll see if this has any impact on him either way. Concepcion being very aggressive and pressing the attack against Donaire. And this is a pretty big ring here at the Hard Rock, at the joint at the Hard Rock, and that's good for Donaire. He's using every inch of it right now.
Yeah, he's definitely fighting from the outside where he's looking to counterpunch. Brian, is Aquino on the back of Nonito Donaire's trunks? Are they symbolizing the president who?
Yes.
He is dedicating this fight.
Dedicating this fight to the late President Aquino,
yeah,
who just passed away recently, and Nonito wants to dedicate this fight to her.
Great night to do it on this special Hanoi power card. Beautiful right hand, right on the cut.
Donaire has landed some big power punches in this round. Let's see if he can do that and avoid getting hit with the punches he got hit with a couple of rounds ago, as the left eye continues to look more and more like trouble for Rafael Concepcion.
Nonito really using every inch of that ring.
Yeah, he is, and now throwing the jab with a little conviction, but there's a big right afterwards.
Beautiful left.
But again, he gets whacked with a big hook, does Donaire, because he stands in and fights. What a great sequence.
That is not the type of fight, though, Donaire wants to have with a man that outweighs him by a few pounds.
And Rafael Concepcion walks him down at the end of the round.
You need to follow up with the right hand after the hook. You need to keep the pressure on it. And keep jabbing and jabbing.
We're looking back with a nice right hand by Nonito Donaire, landing flush on Rafael's chin.
The end of the round, beautiful right hand, a nice flurry. Both fighters landing solid shots. But I think you can tell the difference in power with the weight difference between Concepcion and Donaire, who is not a light-handed hitter.
Concepcion with 8 KOs only and 13 wins, but showing power here at this higher weight. Donaire landed 20 of 38 punches in that round, only 8 of 51 by Concepcion, but Concepcion's at the end were pretty powerful. Still, that would likely be a round for Donaire. And there's the power punches. So this fight continues with a familiar pattern. Donaire boxing, landing big power punches, but whenever he engages, Concepcion landing something of note. And one of the things that Donaire, and he did it against Raul Martinez, he has this habit of opening himself up and being reckless when he throws power punches, throwing the left hook from, you know, way out and just opening himself up. And Brian, that causes trouble.
It does cause trouble, but you know, he's so fast with his jab, with his right hands and his combinations that, you know, he feels really comfortable with being open like that.
Well, he shouldn't have felt comfortable in the last round because he got whacked by Concepcion.
Yeah, it's a dangerous position to be in. And, you know, the irony is the only time I've seen him hurt Concepcion is with the body shot really early on when I saw him wince and go to the corner.
See, and there's Donaire. We saw it in the Martinez fight. He was so wide with that punch that he fell off balance. And that's not the kind of precision that I think the Penalosos want from him or that he's capable of. There he is jabbing from the outside. You know, jab by Concepcion.
Much like a Roy Jones Jr. when you're gifted sort of athletically.
Absolutely,
you feel you can get away with a lot of stuff. But when you come against a strong guy who's fundamentally sound, they're going to get caught. There's going to be times you're going to get caught.
That is a perfect analogy because that is true. The difference is Nonito Donaire, I think, has better fundamentals than Roy Jones overall.
I agree with you, yes.
But forgets to use them.
Also want to point out that in the lighter weight division with powers like this, you can rock an opponent every time you catch him with good combinations. But when you step up in weight, especially at 115, 118, these fighters...
Clash of heads, a big clash of heads right there.
Like I said, these fighters could actually take your punches a little bit more. And then they'll still come in, you know, reminiscent of what's his name?
Keep that head up.
Of the fight against Agbenko and...
Oh, right, and Darchinian.
Right. Well, yeah, Vic Darchinian moving up in weight against Agbenko and landing big power punches, but Agbenko winning the decision because Darchinian was not able to close the show. Now, Donaire switching to lefty. Let's see how effective that is. Now he's back to right-handed. So, plenty to chew on in this fight because we've had a lot of interesting developments over the course of this match.
Yeah, this is definitely a fight, and this is one of those fights that not that Donaire needed improvement, but will definitely take him to another level if he prevails.
Big on it. All right.
Don't get together. Jab, jab, jab.
Big headbutt right there by Rafael, and it brought a little grimace to Nonito's face.
I don't know if it was intentional, but nonetheless it hurt.
Yeah.
Big impact from that clash of heads. So a little bit of everything in this match so far. And we are headed into round number 6 with Concepcion in the blue trunks. Rafael Concepcion, the 24-year-old, 13-3-1, former WBA interim super flyweight champ, taking on Nonito Donaire, former flyweight champion, who's jumping up to super flyweight. If you joined us late, Concepcion did not make the weight. Full 4.5 pounds over the weight. Donaire allowed him to fight. He is fighting. It cost him 20% of his $13,000 of his paycheck. Half will go to Donaire and half will go to the commission. But what that extra weight has done for Concepcion, perhaps, is add to his power a little bit, and he has landed some big power punches. Here's the irony of boxing. Donaire beats Darchinian. Darchinian destroys Arce. Arce beats Concepcion, and yet here is Concepcion giving Nonito Donaire all he can handle. Makes no sense, does it?
Oh, there's so many cases and examples where that's the case, and obviously Stellars makes fights, and we can go down the list of lines of all the great trilogies that have happened because of that and rematches. Yep. You know, this fight has the feel like Clearly, Donaire is ahead on points, but Concepcion is not out of this fight. He seems to be just a couple punches away to put himself right back in.
That's exactly right, Mario. And because we've seen those punches really affect Nonito Donaire. And Donaire, while he is boxing, is not landing, I don't think, as many punches and as many combinations as he would like. He's still looking for singular punches. Oh, my. Nice right hand by Concepcion.
Big right hand.
The left is so low by Donaire, and he talked to us, didn't he, Brian, about how he has this habit of keeping it low. The hook gets there by Concepcion. He is relentless in going after Nonito Donaire.
There's a lot of pressure, and you know, Al, Donaire has never been one to be in bad condition, but let's hope he's in top condition, because he's using a lot of that ring, and that's going to, in the later rounds, that's going to be a big difference.
He will need to be. And now the difference also is Concepcion's able to drive him against the ropes more. Big body work by Concepcion.
Concepcion putting a lot of pressure on Nonito in this round. Landing great shots, right hands, body shots.
We've had a number of surprises and upsets in boxing this year. And right now, Rafael Concepcion is hoping he can make one happen against Nonito Donaire.
Nonito Donaire keeping his hands dangerously low.
And throwing punches that leave him in a precarious situation. And also having a hard time now getting off those ropes, so he does get there. So this is a round that Rafael Concepcion will press in his memory book and punctuates it with a very good right hand. This is getting interesting.
Ok, Rafa, coge el aire duro.
Take a deep breath, take a deep breath.
Buen asalto, ok. Tienes que doblar más los jabs.
You need to jab more. Double up on the jab.
Los jabs hay que doblarlo más. Hay que jabbearlo más. Y lo cámbialo con los ganchos y los rectos, ok.
He wants water. Give me water.
Cuando va a entrar, oye, caballo, se va para tomar mi izquierda, trabaja el gancho. Si va para tomar gancho, trabaja tu derecha.
That was a big round for Concepcion. Taking a look at a replay here. The big right hand that lands. Concepcion putting a lot of pressure in that round.
We head into round number 7 here at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, where Nonito Donaire in the gold trunks, a favorite certainly going into this fight over Rafael Concepcion. Might be ahead on the scorecard, we don't know, but there's no question in round 6, Rafael Concepcion, for about the 3rd time in this fight, made Nonito Donaire aware of his power in a big way.
And I tip my hat to Concepcion for taking big shots, having a cut, and still persevering and putting the pressure and being aggressive.
Total punches very much as you saw in the favor of Donaire. He has landed more punches. Concepcion has landed some big ones. So as Mario pointed out, Concepcion always feels like he's 1 or 2 punches away from maybe making something really dramatic happen here. And I thought Concepcion won the last round.
No,
and now he's cornering Donaire.
And that's what he wants to do, and this is where he wants his fight to happen.
He wants to stay on the inside. Donaire is tall. He's always towering over his opponents. Even at 112, now 115.
Nonito Donaire having trouble with Rafael Concepcion, and they asked for Concepcion for more jabs, and that's what he just gave them. Concepcion honestly is fighting the fight of his life tonight, both in terms of power and in terms of, I think, even now technique, the way he is attacking Nonito Donaire.
Very effective pressure, having a lot of success with big right hands, just like we just saw.
And the question may be,
right hand.
Can Donaire hurt him at all to keep him off?
Uppercut. Beautiful left uppercut that hurt him, followed by a nice right hand.
Donaire landing that uppercut off the ropes to push Concepcion back, and this has become a battle here in round number 7. Both men landing very big punches.
Great fight tonight. Very great.
It is indeed.
Nonito Donaire has to be given credit for not having his hair messed up after 7 rounds of fighting, still staying in play. Some good product in usage there.
That has the makings of an infomercial, I think.
Oh,
nice right hand by Nonito Donaire. He has come back strongly here in round 7.
Rafael says, bring it on. He steps towards him again and pushes him back to the ropes.
This has been a battle.
You're right, Brian. He's a tough customer, but a tough customer who just took big uppercut and straight right hand.
Concepcion very good early in this round, but has Donaire done enough to steal it back? They wail away at the end of this round. We have got a very interesting boxing match.
Are you okay? Are you okay? He's tired. He's tired. He's tired. If you can hit him hard, then follow up. Don't go to the corner. Stay away from the corner.
Concepcion come back again with a big right hand. Each fighter having its moments. Nonito coming back with a nice uppercut in that series.
So we move into round 8. Nonito Donaire in the yellow trunks. And in the blue, it is Rafael Concepcion. Concepcion, the 27-year-old from Panama City, Panama. Donaire from the General Santos City in Philippines, now living in Northern California. You see that Concepcion, for one of the few times in this fight, actually landing more punches in a round than Donaire, and they certainly had their impact, even though Donaire came back well toward the end of the round. Hard to remember, but if you think back to round 1, it looked for all the world like Donaire was going to breeze right through Concepcion, had him hurt very early in the round. It didn't look like it was going to go 2 rounds.
It didn't. It looked like it was going to be an exhibition night for him. And wow, a lot of credit to be given to Concepcion to be able to persevere. And credit to be given to his corner. They've done a nice job on that cut. I thought that was going to be a problem, and they've seemed to really stop the bleeding from being a problem.
The left eye of Concepcion has been cut almost since that first or second round.
Another big jab from Rafael Concepcion.
Rafael has, when he's thrown the jab, has been much more effective.
And so has Donaire. Both fighters finding success with the jab.
Halfway through round number 8. As we pointed out, in round 1, it did not look like it might get this far, but not only has it gotten this far, it has been exciting and interesting. Again, the jab of Concepcion. And a lot of head movement from Concepcion. His defense has improved as his fight has gone on.
It has, which is the odd thing. I've noticed that as well. And his conditioning seems to be, which is ironic considering he didn't make the weight. You figured he trained so hard. But his stamina has been such that where he's been able to put effective pressure. He's been able to land some solid shots on an elusive fighter.
And here's where an interesting decision comes into play. The Donaire people didn't try and make him lose a lot of weight because they were worried he'd have to pull out of the fight, as has so often happened with fighters. Well, that decision may be coming back to haunt them because that would have weakened Concepcion a little bit, and now he's just a bigger fighter in their fighting.
That's true. It's a very good point.
Half a minute left to go here in round 8. Al Bernstein with Brian Valoria and Mario Lopez. As we're enjoying this super flyweight match. Nice right by Donaire as he pecks away with that punch. Donaire's been a little more effective in boxing this round.
I still would like to see Donaire keep his left hand a little higher than it is.
Yeah, I'm sure you and the Penelosas both.
Big right hand again that staggers Rafael momentarily.
left hand up. Keep double jabbing and you're getting caught with stupid shots.
Despiértate y sube tu mano izquierda, no le esperes tanto. ¿Ok? No puedes esperar que te golpee el lento, despiértate, vamos arriba.
Here's Nonito timing that right hand. Been working for him all night, but he needs to keep his left hand up a little bit more, because Rafael's been letting his right of his own throughout this whole fight.
We are moving into the 9th round in a scheduled 12-rounder. A reminder that if Donaire wins, he can win the WBA Interim Super Flyweight Championship, but Rafael Concepcion cannot because he came in overweight. Donaire was married on August 8th of last year to Rachel. They just celebrated an anniversary, and they were kind of hoping the celebration after this fight would be a little more pleasurable. But now, I'll tell you what, he has had a dogfight.
Yes, he has had a dogfight. And you mentioned Rachel, who's also a fighter.
Taekwondo.
Herself, a Taekwondo champion, so I look forward to seeing their offspring. Should be some tough kids.
You know what? Their kids will probably turn out to be chess players.
Right.
Nonito Donaire now moving a lot in this round, and the jab being effective there by Concepcion. Again, the jab getting in. That's a ponderous jab, and yet it is able to get in on a pretty regular basis now against Donaire. And there's the Donaire jab.
As a result to having his left hand that low down to his waist. I mean, right now I would have picked my hand up a little bit more, getting caught with those jabs.
I'll tell you what, not much off. Oh, good left hand by Donaire. He hasn't had much offensively going back at Concepcion. Again, an off-balance right hand by Donaire. His technique has suffered in this fight. I'll tell you, it has gone south on him on several occasions, and there's a big left hand underneath by Concepcion.
Well, Donaire is reluctant to stand and go in exchange with him and go toe-to-toe in the couple flurries that have happened. He's felt the punch, and he's gotten a little bit hurt, and I know he's leery of his opponent's power.
The problem for Donaire, it seems to me, Brian, is he's boxing, but he's not in the boxer mode where he's throwing combinations or jabs. He's just kind of moving and then looking for a power shot here.
Yeah, he's just trying to time that right hand right now. He needs to pop that jab toward and use his reach. You know, work off the jab, throw the right hand, even using those uppercuts. I mean, you know, you can't just rely on one punch and try to knock an opponent out that way. He's in a higher weight division, and you know these guys are able to take your power.
So Rafael Concepcion continues the drumbeat, and I'm not sure that he didn't win round 9, even though Donaire has done some very good work with his own jab and straight right hands. Very close round.
But there's abandoned combinations. He's shoot one punch here and there, and he's landing, but where are the combinations?
There's that uppercut I was talking about. But he needs to put his combinations together. He can't just rely on one punch combination. You know, just one punch here and there. He needs to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 punch combinations.
And there is his wife, Rachel, and a justifiably concerned look on her face as she sees her husband in a much more difficult match right now than I think they might have anticipated that they were going to have.
Units, combination, 3 combinations. 3 combination, 3, 2. That's good, that's good. The combination's good. A little bit.
We're heading into round number 10. Nonito Donaire in the yellow gold trunks. In the blue, it is Rafael Concepcion. Concepcion, the 27-year-old from Panama City, won the interim title against Alex Manala in 2008, but then promptly lost it in a war of attrition against Jorge Arce, and now is was trying to win it back tonight, but because he failed to make the weight, cannot win the title. But he can win a fight, and he can win one against perhaps one of the 2 or 3 marquee names in these lower weight classes. Everyone, good right hand by Donaire, and he's landed several.
And that was followed by a double jab combination, one of the few combinations we've seen in these last few rounds.
That's what I said. Working off that jab will do wonders for Nonito if he keeps doing it.
Donaire, 21-1 with 14 KOs. Has not lost since his second fight as a professional. He was thought of coming into this fight as perhaps the class of the flyweight and super flyweight divisions. Only Fernando Montiel, who's now moved up to 118, probably thought of in his category. And that was the fight that everyone has been pointing toward. It may still be what they point toward, but right now, he's got to worry about Rafael Concepcion, and it's quite a struggle. Halfway through round 10.
These are the types of fights that are going to prepare you for Montiel and prepare you and may have you reconsider such a quick ascension to up the weight classes.
Yes.
That'll be an interesting matchup between him and Montiel. I mean, I've seen Montiel, he's really fast too on his feet and his hands. I think these two fighters will be so fast in the ring that I won't be able to see the fight.
Yeah.
There's the jab of Rafael Concepcion. How have these last couple rounds gone? That's a big issue in terms of the scoring. Did the judges see the Concepcion aggression as enough to give him those rounds? It is a fact that Donaire has generally landed more punches in this fight, although Concepcion has narrowed that gap in the last several rounds.
This is a closer fight than what it may appear to be.
We would think, and you know, you really need to look at these rounds all individually, but there have been many that have been close. The cut over the left eye that occurred in about the second round has not caused the stoppage of this fight. This cut over Concepcion's left eye, but I'll tell you, those right hands are getting right to that area where the cut is.
Nice body shot.
I want to see more of a body shot from Nonito.
Things are heating up here at the
Beautiful uppercut. Nonito landing a couple solid shots to end that round.
El agua, Rafa, cuando está pegando al hombro, sigue pegando, no le esperes, ¿ok? Tiene que trabajar la derecha del cuerpo, ¿ok?
Keep your hands up.
Dobla ya, después lo cambia con
You got a double jab, and hit him in his body.
¿Ok? Cuando está pegando al hombro, no le esperes.
Don't stop when you're on top of him. Let your hands go.
¿Ok? Rafa, despiértate.
Wake up in there. Wake up in there, Concepcion.
Toma el agua.
Big jab coming off from Nonito, working off the jab, followed by a right straight.
On his bicycle, Concepcion with the pressure and a big uppercut to end the round. From Donaire.
You saw the statistic as we head into round 11, a 2-0 record for Concepcion. Donaire is 1-0 in fights that have gone 12 rounds. So neither man has lost a 12-rounder.
Both of these fighters, great condition.
Rafael is still able to land that jab, pushing Nonito back every time with a nice right hand. I mean, at this point, I would have kept my left hand up and sticking it there. I mean,
You're right, Brian. He hasn't made the adjustment, realize he's been getting caught with that, and as gifted as you are, you gotta make those changes in your fight plan.
We are heading into the meat of these championship rounds in round 11 and round 12. And the interesting thing is Concepcion continues to come forward and attack, especially using the jab. Now Donaire, who lands an excellent right hand, had a punch advantage of 26-11 in the last round. So, you know, there's perception and then there's reality. And you kind of get impressed with the aggressiveness of Concepcion, but then in some ways, maybe the actual punch output for Donaire is better than you're anticipating it being.
It's deceiving because a lot of the punches were on his bicycle, not really with the feet planted, but towards the end of the round, he landed very effective hard shots. And in this round, he's having a much better round, being very successful with his combinations.
Just a couple of big right hands from Nonito. Series of great right punches. Would love to see a hook behind that, either to the body or to the head. But
that's right, Brian. That's a very good point. He's abandoned that as of late.
You know what this fight speaks to, gentlemen, is the fact that in these lower weight classes, and it's always been so, not everybody's a household name, but you know what? Most everybody is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Most everybody in the top 10, a pretty good fighter. And Rafael Concepcion is proving that point here. Ranked number 3 by the WBA right now.
With an exception for a few fighters, I think almost every fighter in those weight divisions had at least one loss in the record.
And you know very well, because you're in those lower weight classes. Donaire has landed some big right hand. Oh, my! A big right by Concepcion. Did that hurt Donaire?
Those hands are really low,
and a right by Donaire. Big power punches being exchanged by both men. It's hard to tell which ones are having the bigger impact. But the weight of punches, the number, favors Donaire in this round.
When you think one fighter has an edge over the other fighter comes back. Exciting fight.
Very exciting.
We're the champions. We're the champions. Same technique.
This is the last round. You got to put more of your punches together. Straight right hands.
There's Nonito timing that right hand again, coming back with a left hook that time, but Rafael comes back with his own right hand, staggering Nonito.
Concepcion stalking him. Big right hand, little off balance, but still getting there from Donaire.
Well, after round 1, who'd have thunk it? We are in the 12th round. Nonito Donaire and Rafael Concepcion.
The way this fight started out, gentlemen, I really doubted that we were going to be here, but I'm really glad we were. It turned into an entertaining, compelling fight.
Look at the power punches through 11 rounds. A big edge for Donaire, and yet, oh my!
Slip.
A slip.
And Donaire exerting a lot of energy with a little hit there.
Boy, are you right. The point about those power punches is, even though Concepcion has landed fewer, we know they've had a lot of impact, but it does demonstrate that Donaire has done more work over this fight.
Another big right hand by Concepcion.
The Russian judge just gave him an 8.5 for that landing.
Exactly. You made a very good point, though. That's a lot of energy to exert at this juncture in the fight to do that. But Nonito Donaire trying to box and move. The jab gets in from Concepcion. We don't know how the judges have scored this. The number of punches favors Donaire. That's probably the case. And certainly he has landed power punches as well. But Concepcion has landed some big power punches of his own.
And you got to tip your hat to Concepcion. Came here, got hurt early, got a cut early, and consistently applied pressure and never, ever gave up in this fight.
Well, the winner tonight has been the same winner that we've had over the course of 2009 in so many other fights. The winner is boxing. This is a really good fight, and will be added to a litany of great fights, one of which you had, Brian, with Ulysses Solis during the course of 2009 that have been great.
That's my knockout of the year so far, Brian.
Thank you. Nonito was also on that card, and it was a great night of boxing. A lot of Filipino fans came out to watch that fight and support us, and hopefully I can do it again on August 29th when I defend my IBF title.
and we'll be anxious to see that in Hawaii as we wind down in this fight. In the final 44 seconds, Concepcion hoping he can land something major. Donaire boxing very well here in round 12.
And there's one of the few combinations we've seen from Donaire.
We have not seen that much at all in this fight.
We haven't seen enough of those combinations. It was just right hands all night like that.
Donaire feeling confident here in round 12.
A nice left hook would be nice to see.
Showing some bravado in the final seconds. Of course, when he's shown bravado in the past in this fight, it hasn't served him well. But if we give Concepcion credit, let's give it to Donaire as well. In a firefight, he has hung in there. Wow, that was excellent. As they said in the Marx Brothers movie, that wasn't exactly how Nonito Donaire imagined this ocean voyage, but nevertheless, that's how it turned out. And for Nonito Donaire, he hopes he gets a good result by the judges, but some respect between these two men. Nonito Donaire not happy with the fact that Concepcion did not make the 115-pound weight limit and missed it by a lot, by 4.5 pounds.
4.5 pounds is a lot. I think it kind of showed how much 4.5 pounds is tonight, with him taking a lot of Nonito's big punches. I mean, I was expecting this to go at least 7-8 rounds, you know, due to some of the nutrition factors that arose during the weigh-ins, but obviously, you know, that 4 pounds kind of helped Rafael.
Well, and you know, Donaire hired Mike Basil as his strength coach. That's the first time they've worked together, and Donaire felt like he was going to be able to bring power to this weight class. He did land some hellacious power punches, but they did not knock down Concepcion. And you see the left eye, but as you guys pointed out, his corner did a remarkable job.
Really good job on that, closing his left cut over his left eye.
We are awaiting the official decision, and it will be an interesting one. Probably, we would anticipate Donaire might get a decision because he was more active in this fight. But stranger things have happened. And no matter what happens, Rafael Concepcion raised his stock in the boxing world.
Well, yeah, it was very tough, you know. Worked off the jab all night. I mean, that left has been working for him.
Was it enough for Concepcion to get the win, or did the favorite Donaire come away with the win? We're going to find out. Let's go to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Vegas Hard Rock, we go to the scorecards. Max DeLuca scores it 117-111. Dwayne Ford 115-113. And Jerry Roth 116-112. All to the winner by unanimous decision. The Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire.
So unanimous decision to Nonito Donaire in a fight that thrilled this crowd, and clearly one of the judges, Dwayne Ford, had it closer at 115-113 and 116-112 on one of the cards, 117-111, a pretty big margin for DeLuca. In any case, the work rate of Nonito Donaire probably is what got him that win. And while it might not have been as artistic as he wanted, he's probably happy to come away with the W, that's for sure.
Yeah, W is a W. I mean, you know, he has to look back at his tape, see what he could improve on, and then bring it into the next fight.
All right, let's send things up to Mario Lopez in the ring.
Thank you, Al. Rafael, felicidades. That was a great fight, valiant effort. You were hurt early, you were cut early, yet you persevered, and you caught him with some big shots. Were you seriously hurt at any point in this fight?
Bueno, la cortada me molestó bastante desde los primeros asaltos, pero bueno, esperaba una decisión al menos más estrecha. Yo vine a pelear, no a correr maratón, así que, pero bueno, la vida es así, se retoma el rumbo y próximamente, Dios primero, estaremos encima de un entarimado.
The cut really bothered me the first few rounds. Then I got used to it, and it wasn't, that big of a deal. But, I came to fight. I didn't come to run. If I would have known it was a marathon, I would have run.
Your weight advantage in the fight seemed pretty apparent. You seemed to be very strong and powerful when you were catching with the shots. Did you feel that was the case tonight?
¿Sentiste que lo alcanzaste con buenos golpes, que lo estaba lastimando, por eso no estaba moviéndose tanto?
Sí, sentí que hice varias ocasiones daño en el mentón y al cuerpo, pero no se detuvo nunca a pelear. Yo esperaba un filipino, como dice el Nick, fast, pero era un fast running, no un fast fighter. Así que bueno, no ha pasado nada y a retomar el rumbo.
I was waiting, I was expecting a fight, a real Filipino fighting, not a runner. So, I was prepared to fight. I thought he was going to engage me a lot more. He never wanted to because he knew I could hurt him.
Well, you were very good tonight, Rafael, and you fought very valiant. What is your take on Nonito Donaire, and if you were to move up in the weight classes?
¿Qué es lo que piensas de él como boxeador?
Bueno, es muy buen boxeador, muy habilidoso, muy escurridizo, muy técnico. Pero pensé que era un poquito más guerrero y no tan escurridizo.
I knew he was a great boxer, great technician. He showed me all his abilities tonight. I just hope that he had more of a warrior's heart and we would exchange a lot more.
Thank you, Ricardo, and thank you, Rafael, for a great night tonight. Felicidades.
Un saludo a Panamá, al señor Gustavo Torres, al señor Manuel de Preasa y el saludo de cumpleaños a mi hija Alison. Te amo, Alison, por eso estoy aquí. Y bueno, un saludo a toda la afición en Panamá, Vicente, Loco Mosquera y Maco, que en paz descanse.
Gracias, Rafael. Nonito, how are you doing, my friend? Congratulations. Great fight tonight. It was very interesting to watch because you gave up about 4.5 pounds at the weigh-in, and that's not counting the extra weight that was put on after that. Did you think the weight advantage was a big factor tonight?
Oh, definitely. But first off, I want to thank God, Top Rank, and all the Filipinos and everyone that came over here. Thank you so much for everything. Definitely the 5 pounds that he had on me. I mean, if he was at 115, he would have went down early. I mean, he ran into all those punches. He messed up my hand. I mean, I always say to myself that I'll break his face or I'll break my hand. And apparently today he broke my hand to the point where, that extra pound that he had was definitely a big advantage for him. But, I'm a warrior. I dedicated this fight to the late Corey Aquino. And even if he weighed in at 20 pounds over, I would definitely come over here and fight because that's my dedication. That's my honor to my country. And I'm just thankful for everything and for everyone.
You landed some beautiful shots, beautiful body work, which you hurt him with earlier, and nice counter right hands and uppercuts. At what point did you feel that you hurt your hand?
Oh, it was definitely early when I got him with that uppercut that cut him. But it's part of my game. No matter how messed up it is or sprained or whatever it is, I'm here to fight. I'm not here to make any excuses, but I'm here to give honor to my country and show that we're great fighters. And we showed it today with a lot of heart from my part, knowing that the guy was a lot heavier than I am. But, I came in here to represent. I came here to fight with all my heart.
Definitely represented and showed a lot of skill and courage tonight. Now that you've practically gone up 2 weight classes tonight, how do you feel about your ascension in the higher weight classes, and is that still in the game plan?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the guy was definitely a 122-pounder tonight. And if he was at 115, like I said, he would have went down. But, he was a tough guy, and I'm definitely ready for the big guys in this weight class.
So ideally, Nonito, if you had to have it your way, who would you like to see in the ring next?
Oh, definitely. The great Mexican fighters, they're always fighters, and I would love to test myself with them. Montiel, Arce, I mean, those guys are my friends. Mis amigo, pero, this is boxing, and those are the guys that are on top of me right now, and I want to prove to myself that I belong in that same division.
We definitely belong. Congratulations. It was a great fight, and it was a great time for the fight tonight. Al, I'll tell you, great night of fighting tonight. A lot of these fighters persevered, made it a lot more interesting than we thought initially it was going to be. A lot of action, a lot of activity, and a lot of these fighters fought with honor and with courage and passion, and I think Pinoy Power should be very proud of the card that was displayed tonight.
Thank you, Mario.
Power 3.
Let's take a look at the CompuBox numbers that will give us some idea on this fight. Obviously, Nonito Donaire